We'll remind everybody that it's the time of the year where a lot of plants, particularly aquatic plants, are very slow growing, and they come on and off of our lists ridiculously fast. As an example, there is absolutely no hairgrass to be found at any of the wholesalers at the moment. They've all sold out. So we've taken away the hairgrass off our website to be available to buy. But that's just one example. Over the next little while, that will be happening more often. So it's obviously my job to keep on top of that and make sure there's some available. There's several places that I buy the plants from. So as long as someone's got some, we're still good to go. But hairgrass, for example, is completely gone all the way. However, the cryptocorynes are coming in incredibly nice at the moment. The cordatas are looking fantastic. The Apistogramma is looking really, really good as well. Balance is looking a bit shoddy. Wind tie a little bit shoddy as well. The retro spiles is looking fantastic. So there is still some nice plants hanging around. But just bear in mind that very soon there'll be lots that are probably going to get depleted pretty quickly. So we'll just try and keep on top of that for everybody. That's where we're at with the plants. So I'm sorry, Brian, that it wasn't quite as exciting as what it could have been. Good morning, Cam. I hope you're well, my friend. Thank you for joining us a few weeks ago. Rightio, what else have we got? So, we had our fish be released from out the back this week. When I say out the back, I haven't bought them out the front yet, but they're all available to buy and to sell at the moment. So, the electric blue rams are now available. They are moving ridiculously quickly. I think we've only got 5 or 6 left. You absolutely see why they're stunning fish, absolutely phenomenal. The blue is almost kind of this blue. They're beautiful fish. So they're selling really well, and they'll be gone very quickly. So if you've been looking for electric blue rams, get onto that as quick as you can. The pearl gouramis are also looking really nice. There's quite a few of them. Again, quite a popular little gourami, well, bigger gourami. But yeah, they're quantities of them, and there's someone just pulled up. You've got quite a few quantities of them, and there's some good sized ones. So if you're looking for pearl gouramis, they're also a pretty good buy. Some of the guppies we've got are absolutely amazing, like mind-blowingly amazing. Pretty much everyone that's walked in the shop that anything not guppy like is go, oh wow, look at that. So guppies are also really good buying at the moment. We've got the last of the season's Apistogrammas, Ottocinclus. So otters are very, very seasonal. They go on and off basically this time of the year. So we've got the last that we could get our hands on before they start sort of thinning out and not looking quite as nice. The ones we've got are quite plump. They're looking good, and they're good, healthy fish. So if you're in the market for some ottos, I think we're going to go to a dozen of them. So again, be pretty quick with them, because once they're gone, I feel like they're going to be gone for a few months. Kochi blues are a fish that we haven't had before, and they're also looking really nice. I'm again really enjoying how they're developing and beginning to get some nice colour on them. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they look like when they come out the front and get a bit of light over top of them. So at the moment, I don't want to say washed out, but because they don't have the light on, they don't have that little shimmer to them. So once they get the lights on, I'm really looking forward to them. And the one fish that has really, really taken me out the back is the Apistogramma Agazi, the fire red variant. They are wicked cool. Like, they're a really nice size, actually a really nice body shape as well. They're quite elongated. But the coloration on them is just phenomenal. So if you're looking for a dwarf cichlid with a bit of personality and that has a bit of colour on them, these fire reds are really, really nice. To the point where I'm considering taking a few home for myself for my tank at home. Yeah, they're very, very nice fish. So I think we've got about 8 of them left, something around that mark. So be quick with them if you're looking for them. We sold about 4 yesterday, and I can almost imagine they may not last the weekend. They're that beautiful. Absolutely stunning fish, and they look pretty much as stunning as they do on our website. Obviously, that's a stock photo from the internet, but they're very, very similar to that. So don't muck around if you're looking at them. Next week, we are going to have another special guest. As we said a few weeks back, we're going to try and get a special guest on our Friday Finatics coffee date every other week. And we have one lined up for next week. We've got Dr. Anthony Mazzarol from the Amazon Research Centre for Ornamental Fishes. And yes, I had to look down to make sure I got those words correct. So this is a research centre over in the Amazon. I believe they're based in Peru. They're working on a very holistic approach to the whole fisheries industry over there. They're working with the local fishermen, fisher people that are catching the fish to make sure they're able to sustain their livelihood. They're working really hard with the fish themselves to make sure that making sure that they're not depleting the waterways, making sure the fish are still surviving, and they're obviously working with the industry itself to make sure the industry is getting the fish that they require as well. So it's a really holistic approach. It's based on education. It's based on research, and I'm really, really looking forward to speaking to him. I've watched a couple of interviews that he's done, and I've done a bit of reading about him. And yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting. Yes, he was on the Aquarius podcast. That's one that I've listened to not long ago. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it'll be a good time, and I think he'll be an absolute wealth of information and a wealth of knowledge. So it's probably not one to be missed. But if you can't catch it live, we do rock and roll on YouTube, and it gets saved, so you can still find it on YouTube if you don't happen to be able to watch it live next week. And yeah, we'll be sharing some more information about what they're doing and what he does over this week, just to get everyone's juices flowing about it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Very much tell that I'm looking excited about it, but I'm really excited about how this is coming along. So yeah, it'll be a good interview. I have my fingers very, very tightly crossed that my Rapashi order turns up today. Seen earlier in the week, we're very, very low on Rapashi, and it's easily one of our biggest selling foods. Other than the Hikari stuff, everything else, as far as food goes, is completely replenished except for the Rapashi. So I'm really hoping it turns up, because again, I really like it, and I know that everybody else likes it. So fingers crossed that turns up, and we're fully on deck with that. Again, a lot of the 170-gram varieties and the 340-gram varieties are out of stock at the wholesaler coming into the country, so we can't stock that. But instead of that, so normally when I say 4 or 5 of the 85s, we've gone a bit heavier and sort of doubled up on things like that, so we can carry the quantity that people are kind of wanting. So fingers crossed it arrives today and we get that all locked and loaded. So that is all that I've got as far as general conversation goes. Today we're going to rip the scab off the Heim Skim 350. So there's actually not much to see in the box itself. We can read straight off the box. It's 5 watts, so low power consumption, good for about a 350 litre aquarium, 300 litres an hour for fresh or marine fish tanks. I've only used it in fresh. I haven't used it in marine. I'm assuming if you're going to be using a skimmer in a marine tank, you're probably not going to need this anyway. So we can just open the box up. It comes in it with an instruction manual. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to close the box back up, because I've got one here that I use in the shop already. So this one's been taken out of the shop already. So the way that this works is it just sits in and around the waterline, and this Suzuki bounces up and down. So I'm going to use duckweed as an example, because duckweed is a pain in the butt, and this works really well in eliminating duckweed. So it'll bounce up and down, the pump blows out, and as it blows out, it's drawing water in, very much like a sponge filter, how water goes out with the air going into it, and it draws the water into it. So same thing, water gets pushes out, and it gets drawn into it. So this bounces up and down, and through these little slotty bits here, your duckweed or your bits of leaves or whatever, your protein buildups, that kind of thing, that then begins to get drawn into there. So this can be removed, which is handy, and then we just pull it apart. Duckweed is not sick, and I will hate on duckweed. Although some situations duckweed's good. So we just pull it apart nice and easy like that. And so this is, that went underneath is a sponge. This is what takes up all your muck and your clog and stuff like that. Really easy to pull apart, really easy to clean. And then this sits on top like so, and that goes into your impeller and into your little mini pump. This is literally just a tiny mini power head. So it is adjustable, so you can turn it up and down, whether you want it to flowing heavy or flowing lightly, depending on what sort of fish you've got and what sort of plants you've got. You might want to go up or might want to go down. And so that connects all back together. Just nice and easy, and it goes into that. Oops. Again, impeller is nice and easy to get hold of, right there, so to get access to. My fat fingers don't get there, and I've got to use a pair of tweezers to pull them out. But it's easy enough to do maintenance on. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything like that. It's really well built. It's Eheim. Pretty much everything Eheim is nice and strong. So you just click it all back in together like so. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that I don't like about it to start with. I don't think there's any other way that they could design it, but I don't like the cord being underneath. It just frustrates me. I think most things have cords on top, but I don't think there would be a possible way of it working if they had the cord on the top of it. It's just quite annoying. You're putting it in and your cord comes back up over like that. Just a little frustrating thing about it. It's nothing major. And again, I don't actually think there'd be a way of actually making that work without that. Oh, coffee time. Next thing I don't like, and again, I don't actually think there's a way around this, is that little sponge clogs up fairly quickly. Again, it's a small sponge, it's a small pump, so there's probably not much weight around that, but that is a little bit frustrating. It clogs up pretty easily and then breaks your flow up pretty well, or pretty quickly. Might not be too much of an issue for people that have got really well-established planted aquariums. In the shop here, obviously, we're running with a lot of immersed plants, and leaves disappear like that quite easily. And, you know, we've got little bits and pieces, things get knocked off and that kind of stuff, so it clogs up fairly easy in that. Again, I don't know if it'll be too much of an issue once you have an established aquarium and you're not losing many leaves and stuff like that, but in the shop situation, it's a little bit frustrating for that. The other thing I don't like is mystery snails really enjoy going into these, and once they're in there, they're pretty hard to get them out. And when I say they're pretty hard to get them out, they enjoy dying in these tubes. Again, it's not the design of Eheim, it's not Eheim's problem. Mystery snails just tend to go where they want to go, and if they're too big, they'll get stuck, and if they're too small, they get sucked up, basically. So that's the only things that I don't really like about it. Other than that, I think it's a really, really good product. It works really, really well at getting duckweed away and little bits of leaves and whatnot that are floating around the tank. So I am a fan. So we do use this in our plant tank here in the shop, and I do think they're really good. It gives minimal extra flow, but a little bit of extra flow in the tank, which is a nice little bonus. Obviously, it does take up another power cord, a power spot, and as fish keepers, we all know how valuable power spots are. So that needs to be taken into consideration as well. But they absolutely do what it's meant to do. It does what it says it does on the box, and overall, I think it's a really, really good product. And again, it's something we use in the shop, and I think it's brilliant. So it doesn't take very long for the duckweed to disappear on this, and because let's face it, duckweed isn't that good. So there we go. That is the Eheim Skim 350. We've got a few of these in stock. Again, it's something that I recommend because we use it here, and I think it's very helpful. If you've got surface scum building up on the top of your aquarium, it works really well for that as well. Overall, it's pretty good, and yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to use it if you're having issues with duckweed or surface scum or stuff like that. So there we go. If there is something that you would like to see us open up, have we talk about on one of our Friday Finatics coffee dates, please feel free to let us know. We have had suggestions of the Awaze canister filters, which we did, and we had suggestions of something else. I can't remember what it was now, but we did as well. So I'm more than happy to open things up, show you what's inside the box, have we play around with them. If I've used them before, give you my opinions on them. If I haven't used them before, just talk about them in general. So yeah, if there is products that you want to talk about, please let us know. Obviously, we've got a heap of food that I can open, but it seems kind of pointless. Hey, look, this is food. So gadgetries and things like that would be good if you've got any other options and things like that. So there's still a few things around the shop that we can open up and have a look at. Things like plant fertilizer, for example, we're pretty unlikely to open up the bottles, but we can talk about what's inside the bottles and the balances of the fertilizer and all that kind of stuff. So again, if there is things you want us to talk about or you want to have a look at, please feel free to fire it away. PM, email, even on the chat here. There's no dramas. We'll put that on the list of things and we'll open it up and have a wee chat about it. But that's all that I have today. So once again, congratulations. We have made it to Friday. We've done really well. I'm going to be gone. I've got things to quickly do. Any chance that the Flu will ever bring out a 100-watt E-Series heater in New Zealand? I will put it on my list of things to ask my rep. I have a feeling, I don't want to talk out of turn, but I've got a feeling the answer will probably be no, because it's quite a struggle to get hold of the other E-Series heaters. But I'll definitely talk to him and I'll ask him and see what's going on. I also suspect that, again, don't want to talk out of turn, but if there's enough commercial intent with people saying, hey, I really want this product, and I can say, look, all of these people are asking for it. Can we look into it? There might be a higher chance of doing that. But if it's just one or two people that are asking for things every now and then, it's probably unlikely. But if there's enough people that sort of generate enough of a snowball effect, then yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, things like that happen. And again, I'm more than happy to ask. There's no harm in asking. What's the worst that can happen? They can say no. So, or they might go, actually, it was on our radar. We'll look into that a little bit more. So, if there is products you guys want and they're available around the world, please fire away. No promises, but I'm more than happy to ask the questions to the people that bring the products in. Spotlight about the different plant substrates. Yeah, I can do that. The problem with that right now is we've only got two. We've only got the Sierra and the JBL Aquabasis. So I was looking at getting some of the Seachem fluorite in at some point soon. So we will, if I get some of them in soon, maybe we can run a wee series on planted substrates. It seems like a pretty good idea to me. So I might look into that. Might have to turn into a blog series. So yeah, we'll see how we go. So thank you for that suggestion. I will put that on the drawing board and we'll see what we can do with that. So thank you. Yeah, cool. Yep, we can do that. Obviously, it won't be next week because we've got a guest coming on, but I'll put that on the list of things to have a wee look at. I guess that means that I might have to set up a couple of aquariums so we can open up some bags and open up some buckets and not waste them potentially. I don't know, what a shame. But yeah, all right, guys. I'm out of here. Have a good one. Happy fish keeping, and thank you for all of your ideas and thoughts. Catch you later.